Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is Well Red Beard, and it's a damn fine day to talk about a book. And today we are talking about Nocturnal Salvation. This is the third part in a series of vampire books by Villimey Mist. Having done Nocturnal Blood and Nocturnal Farm, Part 1, Part 2. Now I've done part 3. Now I think forever I've been saying this was going to be a trilogy, not really knowing. It is not. The story is not over. I do not know when we can expect book 4. But I think the highest compliment that I can pay this series is that I'm excited that it's not over. I'm not normally a series type of guy. I'm also on record saying I'm not normally a vampire type of guy, but I am excited that this series is not over. Now, for me, I gave part 1 4 stars. It introduces this character Leia, and she's kind of an oddball a bit. She's got some nervous tics, some OCD issues. There's a bit of she's kind of naive when it comes to these things, and she finds out that her best friend is a vampire, and her best friend is on the run, and Leia has to go with her for whatever reason. I'm going to summarize here, but this one takes us on a crash course horror show across like Backroads, Canada. We're trying to get away from Alaska and get away from these vampires that are after her friend Sophie. I gave this book 4 stars. It's got nuts horror in it. Like there's this one scene in here with the Sang. I don't know how to pronounce it. Sangue. But anyway, they're like vampire servants. Like they would do anything for vampires to gain their favor and hopefully one day get a taste of their blood, or be turned or whatever. But this one's just got some ridiculous horror scenes in it. And one is with a saying, this old lady, she runs like this bed and breakfast scenario, and that's as far as I'm going to go. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is that, well, first of all, I'm kind of setting up the storyline, but that we kind of touch on that scene again here. Like it's just vaguely mentioned. I think it's on page 161, but I marked it because I love that scene in this book so much that when they mentioned it again here, or when Villimey mentioned it again here, I loved it. So book 2 for me was a little bit slower. I gave it 3 stars. I thought the idea of a nocturnal farm, of this, basically body farm where the vampires are, using humans as living blood bags. I thought that had a lot of potential, but ultimately I just did not enjoy it as much as book 1. It all kind of came together for me in book 3. And don't get me wrong, book 3 does not have those knock you on your ass scenes like book 1 did. But so first of all, sorry about all the noise there. But if you haven't read book 1 or book 2, it's impossible really for me to talk about book 3 without spoiling things from the first 2 books. So if you're gonna go read these, and if me mentioning a few things here and there, maybe not little things, is an issue for you, then go on. You can come back later. But our main character Leia, at the end of book 2, something happens, and she winds up turned. And I mean, you probably knew we were going there, right? I mean, that's she's a vampire now, but her oddness, her tics, her nervous issues, her love of family, her naivety. How the hell do you say that damn word? Anyway, they kind of combine with this newborn vampire thing, and make a really what's the word I'm looking for? Just attractive character. Just a really I don't know. It's like this cross between this vampire, but she's still got her wits about her. She's trying to maintain her humanity. And it just makes for an attractive character. I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe it's a situation of, I did grow to like Leia across the books. I think in book 1, I kind of mentioned that all those things about her, all those little tics, they kind of turned me off. But then I realized, well, that's probably exactly the shit that a character like Leia would have to deal with in real life, and I'm a real asshole, But over time, those things that you ever met a person like like initially there are things about that person that you don't really like, but over time those become the things that you love about the character. That's kind of what happened here. Over time I grew to really really like Leia. Like, I mean, I can't think of a lot of examples of other characters across a book series that I kind of started off on the fence about, and then just really became involved, really became attached to. And that's what we've got here. So we, at the end of book 2, there's a square off at the body farm, or the blood farm, or whatever, and we realized that this hunter, this vampire hunter that we were kind of on the same side with, is evil, and he's been the victim of this British military experiment thing where he is turned into like a half vampire hybrid thing, where he's a daywalker, but he's wicked powerful. His blood can turn vampires like feral. And it can also turn humans that way. Like his blood can affect humans and turn them to this place where right now we don't know. We don't really have a way to recover them. There's not really a cure at this point. So they're basically dangerous. I mean, they're not dead, but kind of like a zombie type of thing where there's no getting them back. And so that's what we're kind of dealing with. And we've gone to Atlanta because like the only survivor that worked on those experiments is at the CDC in Atlanta. And so we've gone there. There's a cast of characters here, and it's almost like a what's the word? What's that movie? The one with Brad Pitt and George Clooney, Ocean's 11. It's almost like an Ocean's 11 sense, idea of thing. All these different characters. We have a couple of hunters. We've got the big samurai sword wielding vampire. We've got this new really really big bear like Russian vampire. We've got Leia. She's freshly turned. She's just kind of learning the ropes. We've got a couple of hunters. One of them wears an eye patch. He's missing an eye, and there's this really funny scene where they all kind of come together for a common goal, but they hate each other, outside of this common goal. And the hunter that has lost an eye, it was actually taken in a fight with the Russian vampire, and the Russian vampire pulls it out of his pocket in a little glass vial. It was a cool scene. We've got a hacker, like a hacker girl, and she can't speak. She's mute, and so like all of her communication comes through the computer. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is like this cast of characters was rich and full, and I actually cared about them. Like I dug this group of characters. This what's the word? Fellowship. Yeah, there we go. Tolkien. This fellowship of characters. I mean, I was attached and involved and enjoyed them and worried about their plight. Like, because let's face it, we're losing somebody, right? We always do. Who's it going to be? Who are we going to lose? There's one scene in here though where Leia, she's freshly turned, but she lets her vampirism, her vampire, she lets that shit out, and it's a cool damn scene. And there's a quote from book 1, and I don't remember. I wish I would have wrote it down, but it's a scene with Leia and Sophie, her friend vampire she was on the run with, and they're battling a ghoul. And I'm not going to go into what a ghoul is, but they're battling it, and it's outdoors. It's like by like this dumpster, and there's this one line in there that I absolutely loved, and I had a line here that I liked almost as much. My blood sings a violent song of brutality. I'm going to read this paragraph for you and let it go. But so it's like a battle scene, and it's like right at the point where you can hear the music. I mean, the music's coming up. It's like this culmination of her letting it out. And I switched the UV light on and turned the deadly beam on him. The stench of burning flesh burst out along white smoke. The vampire screams and covers his scorching face. The heavy metal music and his pain bring forth something I've kept down since I bashed that ghoul's brain in. See, we flash back to the scene I was talking about. Sophie's elbow nudges my side. These fuckers deserve this. Go nuts. A smirk creeps onto my face. My blood sings a violent song of brutality. My bloodlust surges through me, and I allow the monster to take the reins. Look, I'm invested, and I'm enjoying it way more than I thought I was gonna. What I will say about these books is they are super clean. They feel, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what makes a book YA. You know, sometimes it feels YA, but like I said, the level of horror that was in book one, some of these kill scenes are violent, vicious, brutal things. So I don't know. I mean, sometimes it feels like this mix though between YA and full blown vampire horror. But I'm invested. I'm having a really good time with it, and like I said, I am excited that it isn't over. I think for Nocturnal Salvation, I'm back at 4. I'm gonna go 4 stars on this one. Like I said, I went 4 on book 1, 3 on book 2. I'm gonna give Nocturnal Salvation 4 stars, but I'm enjoying it. I'm glad it's not over. So this has been Well Red Beard. This has been my review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're enjoying all your books as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.